there was an ISIS terror plot that was just foiled. About people trying to attack a Taylor Swift concert in Austria. And this morning, the New York Post wrote that Taylor Swift's ISIS suspects planned to drive a bomb-driven car into the crowd, and they were hired by stadium security. So the teens, were arrested for plotting an ISIS-style terror attack at one of Taylor Swift's Austrian concerts this week, had planned to drive a bomb-filled car into the crowd to kill as many as possible, and had reportedly just been hired by the venue to work security.
Yep. You know, in Europe, a lot of the security guards are of Arab descent. And it's just because, that's what you do. You get into security. And in Sweden, I won't say all, but I'm going to say maybe 80% of all the guards at the clubs and the places like that, they're all of Arab descent. And so this makes a lot of sense to me. They're hiring a company that's, a lot of times, we don't know who runs these companies. It could be somebody associated with the mob or a terrorist cell or whatever it is. But this makes sense to me. So I definitely can see that happening. And it's sad that they were literally planning on killing as many Taylor Swift concert goers as possible.
You know what's crazy to me is that this is, I feel like, the first time I've heard of an ISIS plot in Europe in a really long time. This really gives me flashbacks to that big ISIS terrorist attack that they had in Spain, where they had a coordinated attack in 3 different locations.
Yeah.
That was 2012, 2014, something like that. I can't really remember. But when Trump was president, he completely destroyed the caliphate itself, which completely destroyed any ability to organize or plan things. They solely relied on small cells being inspired by whatever to commit these things. But now it feels like a little different time. There's so many refugees now in Europe. A lot of them came from predominantly Muslim countries. A lot of them haven't adopted to the culture that is in the country that they moved to. And they're still being driven by this Islamic ideology. A lot of them are Islamic fundamentalists. And it's scary to see now them feeling empowered to do this kind of stuff. Because again, I just want to remind you that between 2018 and I want to say 2017 and 2020, 2021, 2022 even, we didn't really have this feeling. It's lately started to come back, like what we used to feel back in the day.
Yeah, and kind of to tie it back to Sweden, when I go out and these security guards, they're extremely rude to the native Swedish people, like extremely rude. Like they will throw you out of the club, they'll push you, like they're very rude. And the Swedish people are just trying to get into this place. So I sense this like angst from them, not all of them obviously, but especially me because I'm American. So they're just like, oh, hey, how are you? And they love me. But I see the way they treat regular Swedish people and regular Swedish women specifically. And I'm like, why would you allow your woman to be treated like this? I even posted on X when I was there. I was outside looking at everything happening. And I'm like, this is not the way it's supposed to be. They have a very, very bad problem. And, thankfully the right is starting to stand up. The anti-immigration policies are starting to come out. Is it too late? Hopefully not, but we'll see. But we know that this is the plan to infiltrate all of Europe, all the world with unfettered immigration. They're trying to do it here. They're doing it everywhere. So if anyone likes puzzles or likes figuring things out, it's not that hard. Like, look at Spain, look at France, look at the United States, look at every Western nation. It's not like we have Polish immigrants flooding into like Zimbabwe or something like that, right? It's only one-way traffic. And someone in Ireland made this point. I don't know who it was. It was just a guy. But he said, I don't know, let's say the population of Ireland is 10 million. I don't know what it is, right? There's 10 million of us. And they're being inundated by people from, I don't know, whatever African country. Let's just say Zimbabwe, because I forget which one. He's like, there's like 80 million of them or whatever. Why is it that they have to come here? Like, I don't understand. Like, why is everyone coming here specifically? And
because
I laugh.
It's America, bro. You know why? Here's what I don't understand. If they come to the United States or they come to these European countries and they're so drastically different than the cultures and the customs that these individuals are accustomed to, then why the hell did they not stay in the country that they came from, where it's culturally acceptable to have these crazy things that they want to, like beating women or their wives and whatever it is. The other question I have is, why don't they go to other predominantly Arab/Muslim countries? Why don't they go to Iran? Why don't you guys go to Yemen? Why the hell do you guys flee from Syria under Bashar Assad to freaking Europe? I truly don't understand that. It's completely different. Now, if this is some part of a plan that is somehow we haven't, been able to uncover, that there's maybe like a thing within the Muslim world that says we need to expand the overall caliphate, or the possibility of having a caliphate. The predominantly Muslim countries are already predominantly Muslim countries. There's no shift or cultural difference that they can enact there. But in countries like France and countries like Germany, that's where they can actually change the Western civilization and make people adapt to their traditions and cultures. So maybe it's part of some grand conspiracy that we have no idea about, that they're trying to go all over the world, destabilize these regions, implement Islamic fundamentalism there so they can create a much bigger caliphate than we'd ever imagine.